So with so many things that are obviously happening around the world right now, today I want to take maybe a little bit of a fun change of pace to make a little bit of a more fun video to talk a little bit about 7 things that I've purchased in my lifetime that I think have been really particularly life-changing, that I think can hopefully maybe benefit every single person watching this right now. Because I do know obviously with so many things that are happening around this world, there are a lot of people here that are maybe going through some kind of financially tight situation. I want to maybe use this video to basically just share certain things that I think are still very accessible to almost every single person, regardless of your financial situation, that I think can really improve both your quality of life in terms of both on the financial side, but also on just the general enjoyment side. Because I think at the end of the day in life, even though we are a finance channel, which is why some of these things that we mention, as the title suggests, they are going to be things that can potentially really change our lives financially, just long term. But there's also a lot of things that can also just improve our typical lifestyle on a daily basis. And I think because at the end of the day, as important as money is, there are still a lot of things that are even more important than money and a lot of simple pleasures that I think people can still enjoy, especially because I know the growth of most of this channel, where it started, was not just about trying to talk about finance in general, but even more specifically to talk about finance during a time when there was just a lot of need in this world, including on my side as well. And so today's update is pretty much just going to be about 7 objects, things, purchases that I've made and I think have particularly changed my life. I'll probably try to put links to some of these items maybe down below so you guys can kind of sneak peek, although definitely watch the video, through if you guys are interested in hearing why these things are beneficial. So if you're looking for just any kind of maybe just gift ideas that, especially with holiday seasons coming up, or maybe you just happen to be curious about what can I do right now to buy things or just looking for something more fun, then this is the video for you. And feel free to comment if there's any items that you've purchased that have changed your life as well. So with that being said, we are going to get started, but as always, if you guys enjoy videos like this, remember to smash the like button because it is always greatly appreciated to show support. Of course, if you guys want to, you guys can also watch to the end to decide, and hopefully, if there's a room of improvement, feel free to also comment down below because we are always collecting suggestions to try to learn from each other. At the end of the day, this is a teamwork thing. And of course, as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts, and consider subscribing for similar videos like this, other finance topics, news, and things as we kind of shift into many other video topics and areas. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So we're going to run through all of these items, and I also want to make maybe a really quick note is that all of these items that I've come up with, I think that there are things that not a lot of people have inside of their household. So we're not going to say something like better kitchen utensils, we're not going to say something like a better toothbrush because I think most people hopefully have that inside of their homes. They're all things that I think are relatively unique that when I go to my friends' homes, I don't really often see them have it, so I think maybe this is something that could potentially be beneficial. But the first item that we're really going to talk about is going to be a power bank. So the big idea is that this is one of those things that I really purchased because when I was traveling, or just doing a lot of things in my daily life in general, especially if you're relatively outgoing, and there's a lot of ways to do it cheaply. So we're not talking about extravagant vacations or anything like that. One of the biggest things is that this is something that can potentially really save your life. If, say, for example, you're on low battery, if you're traveling, if you're on a day trip somewhere, if you're just even just on the street, enjoying simple pleasures, you want to be able to have juice, especially because of how reliant or how life-changing, our phones have obviously become. I can use my smartphone as one of these 7 objects, but of course that's over $20. But a power bank, I think, is one of those things that will save your life in many different situations. If you're driving, if you're going out at night, if you're just, low on battery at the very end of the day, this is something. Or maybe if you forget to charge your phone, the night before, this is something that's going to be very beneficial. So that's really the first item to really be able to share. The second item that I really purchased, that I think has been one of the best purchases that I've made in my life over the last couple of years. This one actually is related to finance, which I guess because this goes back to the theme of finance. But it's actually going to be, interestingly, stocks. Now, this one is more interesting because I do know obviously is that there are many people that do own stocks, or at least they're starting to own stocks. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of people that I know outside of the finance world right now that from my observation do not own any stocks. Now, if you're interested in getting into the stock market, the beauty about it today is that there are a lot of stocks that have recently done stock splits. All this means is that it means that the stocks have gotten cheaper in value. Not in value, but in weight. It's a little bit more advanced. We're going to talk about that another time. But the big idea, what it is that there are many stocks today, especially after splits, especially after the fact that we can now buy fractional shares that you can purchase for under $20 today. And that's one of the biggest special things, especially because now non-commission free trading has become a very big thing. Now, if you're interested in getting into the stock market by any chance, I do have 2 links below in order to sign up for Robinhood and WeBull. If you guys are interested, each of these websites, if you end up signing up for them and by chance you don't have an account, they're very beginner platforms to try to start to learn and experiment with stocks. And at the end of the day, you are also going to get a free stock through them. So it also means that in a lot of ways, this is not only something that's actually free, but this is actually something that you can actually make money and then use it to buy things and then make potentially even more money, depending. But if anything, at knowledge at the end of the day. So that's just one thing to maybe definitely to take note of. Now, the next thing that I really purchased that I think has been really life-changing to me has probably actually been a journal. And this is just something which is funny because that's kind of what the channel name is based off. I've had journals, I think, at that time period where this was actually something that a friend actually gave to me in order to kind of document my time because they were also journalers as well. But essentially, it started a trend where I got really into journaling. And, I was given journals by friends. And then eventually when I got into journaling, I started to get my own journal and buy them from my, on my own time period. And it's been one of the most life-changing things because it's been a really great way to essentially just spend your time writing down thoughts, information, to really think about life, to kind of really reflect about your values, what you look for, and to really plan things. This channel was actually planned, interestingly enough, and maybe this now comes into the inspiration for why this name is what it is. This, channel and community is what it is. One of the reasons is that because it started with a journal. A lot of the initial first couple of video ideas that I really made off of on YouTube, a lot of the foundation and what I built, a lot of the things that I do here on YouTube was from a lot of articles that I made that I wrote inside of my journal throughout the years that were just thoughts that I just really wanted to share to the world, which became this community, that video that we are now seeing right here. If you guys are here, huge thanks. It's really greatly appreciated that you guys have been here especially if you guys have been here for a long time. It really has meant a lot to really be able to make this possible. Now, the next purchase that we're really going to talk about is interestingly something that's much more about quality of life. So it won't necessarily get you richer, but with that being said, if you do have a better quality of life, hopefully you'll have a better mental health, and then hopefully that may translate to being more productive, which kind of, maybe will translate to more money. But it's going to be a massager, funny enough. And I haven't seen this one, but basically this is one that I bought this off of a flea market, so I think it's custom made. I think it might be custom or handmade, so I don't know if you can buy it in a store per se, but you definitely can find variations of like a back scratcher, a head massager, and a lot of these things I've used them really to kind of help with things such as like mental health, to de-stress, to kind of just relax a little bit, to try to just improve thinking and try to really be able to relax when you need it. And I think this is something that actually is really beneficial. My hair is going to get messy if I use it, but basically these are just things that I think can be great gifts and that can actually just improve our own quality of life as well. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about, which I have it but I forgot to bring it here and I'm too lazy to go get it, but it's actually a little bit much more of a niche related thing that I've purchased, that I will admit, but it's really about a pair of earplugs. And essentially for me, this is a little bit more, I will admit, this is a little bit more niche and much more specific, but for anyone that maybe happens to love music, and because music is a really great therapy, especially if you love to go watch live music, love to go to concerts, festivals, or any kind of loud area, what's really great is earplugs, or things that you can buy for under $20 that can really save your health, actually, in a lot of of ways, certainly your ear health. But if, let's say, for example, you are not a concert goer, festival goer, you don't really go to any places that do live music or anything that's particularly loud, I think at the end of the day, you can maybe just replace this one with just hobby related health stuff. So health stuff related to improving the health with the hobby that you're interested in, or even just the actual things that you use to explore your particular hobby. In my case, it happens to be music, so that's what this is for. But that's why I just put it out there, because at the end of the day, there is still a personal touch to this video, so this is an example of one of them. Now, the next thing that's really been life-changing, and this is also something that I kind of got as a little bit of a gift, but it's actually going to be a phone holder. It sounds really, really funny, but this is something that I've put basically in front of my in front of my desk every single day, and I like to use this to essentially put my phone on top of, because it's been really, really great to kind of display things. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this. I do know is that there's a lot of variations of this. Maybe I'll put a link to something, you know, inside of the description if you're interested in purchasing something like that. But the big idea is that when you're doing things on your computer, there's a version of this that you can even strap onto the back of your phone. This is something that's been really, really nice because, for example, I sometimes use it to essentially just check things, check emails, play music. So by having this, it's been a very, very convenient way for me to just kind of explore and do things while I have my laptop on the side, so that I can kind of multitask, kind of, depending on how you see it. And then the seventh and last thing, and actually, you know what, we're going to do a quick bonus at the very, very end, so definitely stay tuned for that. But the seventh thing that I think has been a really, really life-changing purchase that I've really been able to make has actually also just simply been a closet organizer. Now, this is something that's in my closet, so I don't want to, you know, bring it physically here to show on camera, but essentially is that there's a lot of closet organizers that they sell at a lot of typical stores like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, where they basically can create shelves, can help sort things. And I think this is one of the best things that I've ever purchased that has been life-changing in terms of helping with productivity and organization. This is something that I think has been kind of a 50-50. When I visit friends' homes, I notice that half of them have this, but half of them, you know, you kind of get the sense things are a little bit all over the place and they don't necessarily have this. So that's kind of what I'm going to bring out here. And then the last thing, which technically is going to be a bonus eighth thing or 0.5 thing, depending on how you see it, is admittedly not something that I think that I spend a lot of time purchasing, but it is something that I know might be able to help other people, and it's going to be a book. This obviously really, really depends on what book, because there are so many specific books out there. I'm actually admittedly someone who isn't a very, very big reader when it comes to reading physical books. However, I do actually really, really enjoy reading internet books. So those are technically even more free. Those aren't even going to cost anything. These are just things that you can get off of the internet. But for some people I know, having books, especially in the finance community, is something that can potentially open a lot of ideas and be life-changing if this is a way that maybe you prefer to consume information. But of course, that's why I just figured I'd bring it out there, and why I consider it a bonus, because it's not something that I necessarily do as much of, but I do know a lot of people find potentially life-changing. With that being said, if you guys made it to the end, thank you guys for watching all the way through. Maybe leave a comment about something that you've purchased that has maybe changed your life. If you guys made it to the end, maybe just leave a comment in general. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. Remember to smash the like button, consider subscribing, hitting the bell for more. And hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.